गुड आफ्टरनून एंड वेलकम टू गनर शॉट. गनर शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है. Today I'm going to talk of something very interesting. Pakistan, as it appears, has lost about $7 billion plus, and this is only the beginning. And so far, in Op Sindoor, that's it. These are the losses of the nuclear beggar without a Bunyan. You look at this fellow. He's the nuclear beggar without a Bunyan. And who's this guy? You must know who this guy is. He is that exasperated Pakistani. We saw his face during the World Cup when someone dropped a catch. He's he is the icon of Pakistan. He is looking on at this nuclear beggar or the nuclear field marshal. कि भाई तुमने कर क्या दिया, इतना छोड़ दिया, and more. And I must tell you at the outset, most of this analysis I've based on Wing Commander Satyam Kushwaha's detailed analysis with figures and all that. I'll talk of it. And Srimoy Talukdar, who's come out with the article today. But that's a little later. At the outset, I'd like to thank all of you who are watching Gunner Shot and those who have been contributing to Gunner Shot. That look, I've reached a great landmark of 1 million views in the past few days. I never thought this would happen. All thanks to you. And thanks to those wonderful, outstanding professionals who came on Gunner Shot and expressed their views. It's a landmark achievement for me, personally. And again, I'd like to thank all of you. And there's a message to everyone who's watching this. You want some meaningful analysis, which goes for the country and only for the country, come and watch Gunner Shot. We are completely apolitical. There are no political views on this. We only work for what's good for the country. And the professionals who come here are those who represented the country at the highest levels. Either they've been ambassadors, diplomats, generals, commanders, vice chiefs, chiefs. I mean, not chiefs. I don't get a chief on my show as a matter of principle because I don't think a chief should come down and talk like this. But we're going to get high class professionals all the same who still are active in writing this the destiny of this country out. So come and join Gunner Shot. You'll not get any floss, you'll not get any masala, you'll not get any nonsense. Straight analysis. And that's what I've been specializing on ever since I started this channel. Well, on a personal level, I think to me, I call this old man's startup. Just about 2 years plus, 2 years, 3 months since I started it. I started it on a whim. I'm very glad that old people also can have startups. We'll leave it at that. Okay, let's talk of the Chinese equipment and then look at the rest of the things and all that. I got this great video. And you must see this video and take a call. This is the Chinese tank taking part in the biathlon a few days back, a few years back. Don't mess the tire. Look at that wheel of the tank. See. See that wheel, it's gone off. This is it. So the Chinese have to decide whether they're going to use the wheel on the tank or on the ground. And this is the status of every guy who opts for a Chinese equipment. Right? I can't but show it again to all of you. Have a look at it. This is important. They can't see that bogey wheel coming off. चाइना का माल चले तो चांद तक, नहीं तो शाम तक. And that's what happened to Pakistan. Right. Now, again, a matter of embarrassment, or whatever, whichever way you look at it. The Chinese spokesperson 2 days back was asked a question, and you must listen to what she answered and the question also.
A question from Bloomberg News. An Indian military official claimed that China provided Pakistan with air defense and satellite support during its recent skirmish with India, and said that the Chinese weapon systems performed below average. I was wondering if the foreign ministry had a comment on his remarks.
你的具体问题呢，建议向中方的主管部门了解。我想告诉你的是，印度和巴基斯坦都是中国的重要邻国，中方十分重视中印、中巴关系。我们始终秉持睦邻、安邻、富邻、亲诚惠容、命运与共的理念方针，发展同所有周边邻国的关系。那么，印巴局势紧张以来，中方一直坚持客观公正立场。呼吁印巴两国保持冷静克制，避免局势升级。我们支持和欢迎印巴实现停火，愿意继续为实现全面持久停火、维护地区的和平稳定发挥建设性作用。
So just see how embarrassed she is. She's looking like a fool, talking all nonsense. The question was something, and the answer was something else. It just goes to prove the Chinese have no face. They have spoken big. Now the tough questions are coming up. But then tougher questions will come up. It's a matter of time. Okay. And look at this. This is something which a Pakistani has said, right, about the efficacy of Pakistani air defenses and whatever it is. But you must listen to him because he'll give you the best answer.
और वो फेक न्यूज क्या है कि जनाब हमारे जहाज गए और इंडिया की उन्होंने फला जाके जो है वो एयरबेस जो है वो तबाह कर दी और वहां से इंडिया के जहाज आए और साढ़े वाले एंज करके निकल गए और एक भी गोली नहीं लग सकी। उनके पता नहीं इतने आगे थे, हमारे इतने गए थे। अब मैं आपको असल बात बताऊं, पाकिस्तान का एक भी जहाज जो है वो बॉर्डर क्रॉस करके नहीं, पाकिस्तान का एक भी जहाज पीएफ का, पाकिस्तान एयरफोर्स का एक भी जहाज पाकिस्तानी हदूद से बाहर गया ही नहीं। एमी बैठ के बिला वजह बैठ के वीडियोस बनाई जा रहे हैं, ना कुछ पता है। वो गए, वो जाके दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट के ऊपर जनाब वो ऊपर से उन्होंने बमबारी कर दी, तो वो कोई कह रहा है अमृतसर के ऊपर बमबारी कर दी, वो कहता कहीं पे कर दी। तो मेरे भाई हमारा एक भी जहाज बॉर्डर क्रॉस करके नहीं गया।
See, it's all fake. Pakistan all this while has been playing video games, and where we've been actually firing on ground. That's what comes out, and that's what comes out of the Chinese big talk also and narratives. This is not a narrative war. This is at the end of the day, it's an actual war which happened. The Pakistanis and Chinese are still treating it as a narrative war, information war, but there's a shelf life and expiry date to such wars or such narratives. Okay, now there's a hard, analysis by RUSI. What is RUSI? Royal United Services Institution. The USI of India, that is United Services Institution of India, was founded on the lines of RUSI, very old think tank, one of the oldest think tanks in the world. He's, and Dr. Walter Ludwig there, he said, calibrated force, Operation Sindoor in the future of Indian deterrence. Yesterday we discussed this in P Guru's channel with General Dushyant and Rajiv Narayanan. Hard questions are being asked today. And that's what is more important. The truth is coming out of what happened. And then, of course, this Portuguese channel has come out with poor performance of Turkish and Chinese drones, which have embarrassed the Pakistani military. Well, he says embarrassed Pakistani military. Is the Pakistani military embarrassed? I don't think so. They're happily going around doing what they want. One guy has become, the field marshal. He's promoted himself to the field marshal, and the other guy who's the chief of the Pakistani Air Force has got his third extension. Both are bad for Pakistan. Aisha Siddiqa has written an article in print. You read it, you'll know what the story will unfold. The politics of Pakistan can only go bad from here. In fact, bad to worse. Right? And then here is this man. He has, this is a statement in the Pakistan National Assembly. And you see this closely. He has conflated the problem in Kuzdar in Balochistan with India. It's not he's connected India with Kuzdar, Balochistan, what is happening. He is saying, look, both these are unconnected, but we should ask ourselves our questions. So listen to him.
मुझे सब ये समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि वाकया खुजदार में हुआ है और हम हिंदुस्तान को यहाँ पे डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. मुझे अपने इदारों को हम क्यों डिस्कस ना करें कि हमारे इदारे क्या कर रहे हैं. हमारे जो यहाँ पे फोर्सेस है बलूचिस्तान में जिनको हमने इतने इख्तियारात दिए हैं, जो मुझे भी तलाशी कर सकता है, मेरे घर में भी बगैर पूछे घुस सकता है, हम उससे क्यों नहीं पूछते कि भाई आप क्या कर रहे हो वहां पे. ये हिंदुस्तान से तो ना कोई बम आता है मेरे ख्याल से, ना कोई बंदा आता है. बंदे तो हमारे वही के हैं. जिस तरह अभी ये रिसेंट वाकयात गुजरे पाकिस्तान और हिंदुस्तान की लड़ाई का, जिसका हमने मजम्मत भी किया है, लेकिन किसी ने ये नहीं पूछा कि GHQ से 5 किलोमीटर चकलाला एयरबेस तक ये ड्रोन कैसे पहुंचा, ये धमाका कैसे हुआ. और अगर हमारे हदूद में ये यहाँ तक आ सकता है तो इसके लिए सर मुझे तो अफसोस है कि कम से कम इतनी बड़ी लड़ाई लड़ने के लिए ज्वाइंट सेशन होना चाहिए. ज्वाइंट सेशन की इजाजत से फिर हमारे मुल्क को लड़ना चाहिए. जब यहाँ तक आपके हालात आ सकते हैं कि चकलाला एयरबेस पे बम गिर सकते हैं, तो हमें तो कम से कम इन चीजों का देखना. सर ये एक बड़ी सीरियस चीजें हैं, लेकिन हमारे लोग यहाँ आके सर उस चीज पे बात करते रहिए, क्योंकि फिर कुछ लोग नाराज होते हैं. हमें कुछ लोगों की नाराजगी नहीं चाहिए सर. खुदा करे जिस तरह नाराज होते हैं नाराज हो जाए. हमें अपना मुल्क प्यारा है, हमें अपना जमहूरी निजाम प्यारा है. हम इस हाउस का, नीचे वाले हाउसों का सर इसकी ताकत और इस यहाँ से जो फैसले होते हैं सर वो सही होते हैं.
So look at it. Now people are asking questions within Pakistan. And this is a serious question. Right? And the DGISPR still says Hindustan will fitna and all that nonsense. So we'll talk of Balochistan. Maybe tomorrow, day after, I'll talk of Balochistan. The story is not over. Right? And I'll reiterate what I said earlier and I'll give you what the whole story is. But this is it. Right? And then Wing Commander Satyam Kushwaha, he's given out this report. Okay? Where he's very clearly said total established impact on Pakistan is 7.638 billion USD, which includes losses, repairs needed, replacements, and new procurement. I think he still underestimated it. For many of you, it might look overestimated. I feel still it's underestimated. In fact, I had a word with him, I had a chat with him. He explained the logic of this entire report to me. Right? So we'll analyze this report. It's out in the media, but I'll analyze this report the way I've understood it, the way I've spoken to him, and my own experience, because this is not something which is out of my experience. Add to that, Shrimoy Talukdar, rather Shishir Gupta, he's spoken about this today in Hindustan Times, that 4 air-launched cruise missile strike by IAF, which happened on 10th May, actually knocked out 2 AWACS or AEW, whatever you call it, that Saab ones. This by 1 and 1 on ground. So the losses are mounting. One doesn't know whether this is right or wrong. But the fact is, he's alluded in this report that the Indian Air Force has got its report. It has got its, what shall I say, complete inventory of what has been knocked out. Okay, it has proof. It is only waiting. to come out with it. Whether it will come out with it or not is a different story. Okay, but it has got proof. It's slowly coming out. Things are coming out slowly. So one has to have patience, right? Like, I'll go back to the report by Satyam Kushwaha. Now, he says the total financial impact on Pakistan is $7.6 billion, approximately, which I say is wrong. Why it's wrong? It is grossly underestimating it. Grossly. And I'll show you how his calculations are grossly underestimating the loss. Okay. Some of his assumptions are right, but his extrapolation of those assumptions, he's gone wrong. He's gone wrong in the negative manner. He's given too much to Pakistan. That's the point. Okay. He's gone about giving the methodology, and very nicely he's put out the methodology and the integrity of what he's done and how he's done. Now let me read it out so that all of you know what this is. He says, look, this report is grounded in a multi-source intelligence approach, ensuring analytical rigor and credibility. It's not just off the cuff. It's not like the defense minister of Pakistan saying, "Oh, so many Rafales have gone down," and the proof is in social media. He's speaking of collecting high-resolution satellite imagery from Maxar Technologies and Airbus. So he's got image intelligence. SIGINT, intercepted communications of radars and emission analysis. Open source intelligence, data from reputable defense publications, international media outlets, Janes, CIPRI, CSIS, New York Times, BBC, France. Yeah, wo pura. He's quoted all these people in his analysis. Then he's gone to expert analysis, right? Like Tom Cooper and institutions like Modern War Institute. Then official pronouncements and records, including Pakistan e-tenders. Pakistan has already put out tenders to repair the runways and all that. Then satellite imagery and assessment. He's taken Maxar, Airbus, Kawa Space, all this. I mean, the list. Defense publications and then international media. So he's gone to all these sources and then compiled this information. That's the important part. What does he say? I mean, let me put the horse before the cart. I'll come to the losses and all that. The things which have come out very clearly, and this is no doubt, we spoke of it yesterday, I've been speaking of it for quite some time now. There is gross inadequacy and deficiency in the Chinese systems. You saw that. That lady couldn't speak. She didn't speak. She spoke of India and Pakistan when she was told, "Yeah, what is wrong with your equipment?" There's a complete lack of integration. We Pakistanis have not been able to integrate the Chinese equipment, the Turkish equipment, the US equipment, and all other equipment from where all they've got. Each of this equipment was of a different era, and they couldn't integrate it. So they were fighting within that in, silos. This is a siloed fight, not a combined fight. Loss of infrastructure. Huge loss of infrastructure. It's just not the runways. It's the hangars. It's so many other things which have gone. Right? Which have not been accounted for by Satyam Kushwaha. But there is a loss. And the loss is huge. Then what comes out very clearly is lack of structured training and induction. Yesterday, General Rajiv, Dushyant and I spoke about this. Any equipment which gets inducted, goes through a process. It's not a simple thing. It's a process. And it's an institutionalized process. I mean, let me give you my own example because, end-to-end examples, then only you come to know. When I was dealing for the M777 howitzer, I was then a major general when I started dealing with it with the, US people. Actually, that deal was much older. When I took it over in about 2012-13, I went to USA. I sat for 1 week in USA, in the School of Artillery in USA. That the commandant there said, "Oh, sir, come sit, let's have a beer share." I said, "Yeah, I have not come for a beer. I want to be with a gun. So I went to the gun shed. I sat on the gun with my team and we assessed what all is required for each item on that gun so that it can sustain itself here. So I was dealing with the gunners, the lowest ranked people, and those people who had left, some gunners who had left uh, their army and were now with, you know, the OEM of M777. It was cold, January, no heating, nothing. And USA, Midwest USA in January is very cold if you've been there. But I sat on that gun every day. I used to sit and talk with those gunners, with my team, go into details. That led me to the thing that how do I structure training for this equipment? And training was just not training of people who handled it, training of people who will do quality control on it, on training of people who will do maintenance of this. What is to be done? What is not required? It took me 7 days, morning to evening. People say you go to USA and you have a ball. I had a ball. My country is having a ball because of that. You'll be surprised. From morning 7 o'clock to night at about 7 o'clock, I used to be sitting in that gun shed doing this. Then one day my team said, "Sir, can we have a good time?" I said, "Yeah, you can have a good time. Finish this. After this, we catch a flight and go to the factory. In between, in flights, you can have a good time. That's it. See their aircraft, see their airports and all." I'm sure now that team, I'm proud of that team. They did a great job. They would be having a ball now. Happiness, right? And then we got the gun here. And then we went through training processes and all that. It's a huge process. I don't think Pakistan has done anything of that kind. And I still remember on my flight from here to USA, there were two Indian pilots also who came along with us on the same flight. We went right up to Oklahoma, and from there they went to a training base. Where were they going? They were going to a training base in USA to get the C-130s. And they did the same thing. Okay. So that induction process, if it's not there, there are a lot of things which will get missed. And that seems to have been the case with Pakistan. The next thing which is missing, I won't say missing. You see, the Pakistanis became trigger happy. A target appears on the screen, or rather in the air. Because they were not integrated, 3 people responded to the same target and let go. That's what's coming out of me. I mean, I'm saying 3, it could be 4, it could be 2. I don't know. But multiple guys were engaging the same target, where in our case, 1 weapon was assigned to 1 target, or at best 2 weapons were assigned to 1 target and they took on. So we were very efficient in the way we conducted our operations. These people didn't. In fact, if you read Satyam Kushwaha's report, it's available on the net. I don't have to talk of it. If you read Satyam Kushwaha's report, it says on the first day itself they fired 300 missiles. And if they had fired 300 missiles on day 1, the logical conclusion is they were running out of ammunition. You see, if you fired 300, 400 missiles, okay, you would have hit 100 drones. That's okay. But what about the next day? What about the third day? And this is a feature of Pakistanis. They'll always they're very ferocious to start with. They're very trigger happy. Right? They're largely, in this, it's come out that they have been uncoordinated in their mission response and their reactions. There's no tangible benefit. You pooped off ammunition, end of story. And then there's been a case of what he mentions in the report of malfunctioning of missiles in a big manner. Chinese. Maybe others also. And what he says is the debris of all these malfunctioned missiles is with the IAF, and that's where it's come. He's compiled this from sources from his own sources. I'll not question that he's given the sources, but this is it. It's not a singular malfunction of a missile. Multiple extended. Why have these missiles malfunctioned? Is it pure poor design? Is it poor storage? Because missiles are very sensitive. You need to, store them well. If you don't store them well, they'll not function. With the right temperature, with the right checks, you have to do periodic maintenance. I know it because yeah, I'm a gunner, so I know it. Okay. So all that missiles are temperamental animals. Then once you get the missile out of the storage thing, wherever it is stored, you have to test and check it out. That test and check out is very rigorous. It appears that Pakistan has done it on Islamic principles, not scientific. Because as Parvez Hoodboy keeps saying, you can quote him, and I'm sure he'll be horrified at what is happening, that the Pakistani army today functions more on Islamic principles than scientific principles. So the missiles will behave like Islam only, or rather radical Islam, not normal Islam, radical Islam. Hardline radical Islam, hardline radical missiles going all over the countryside like loose cannons. So they have malfunctioned. And then you should know how to operate them, which obviously these fellows have not been able to do. Now, let's get to the heart of this analysis. Okay. As per him, the losses in the air, he segregated each loss. Losses in the air. Okay. And he says these are confirmed through verifiable electronic intelligence, satellite imagery, and ISR data streams. So what all has been lost? He says 4 F-16s, 2 Mirages, 1 IL-78 refueler, okay, 2 missiles, CM-400 AKG missiles, 2 Shaheen class missiles, and 6 Bayraktar, UCAVs. I mean, I'm not talking of the small drones and all that. Yihas, Pihas, and this Chinese stuff. This. And he's given what's the cost of each. He's given the total cost. And the total cost of this, he says, is $431 million. So far, so good. Note, in this, none of the Chinese J-17s or the Chinese aircraft which have been lost are shown here in this list. Okay, that's not accounted for so far in Satyam Kushwaha's total. Okay, then he says, what are those losses on ground? These are losses in the air. As they were flying, they were shot down. What was destroyed on the ground due to BrahMos and other strikes? 4 F-16s, 1 C-130 Hercules, 1 SAB Irai AEA WNC, okay, airborne electronic warfare and control systems, a HQ-9 SAM battery, and a mobile command post, 2 of them. This we know. Total loss of air plus ground is 1.15 billion. Just the air and the ground element, he's pegged it as 1.15 billion. With the cost he's taken from the net and all that. Again, in this, none of the Chinese aircraft is listed. We know that Chinese aircraft has been lost, and Shishir Gupta has mentioned about it in his article today. And we know because this has happened. So that is something, for some reason, he's not put it out. Then what's the cost, operational cost and readiness expenditure or the operational expenditure? Combat air patrols and strikes went on for 29 days. He's put a cost. That itself is 725 million. Drone and missile operations, he's put at 450 million. Right? Then border mobilization and surface to air missile operations. Right, all this for 29 days. Why 29 days? The whole thing, Pakistan Air Force was up in the air. Pakistan Air Force was up in the air the moment Pahalgam happened. The next day itself, we were up in the air. Right? That operational cost is $1.16 billion. So you're looking at already 1.15 losses and plus 1.16. That's over 2.8. Okay. Then he says, what are the infrastructure and base repair costs? He's listed out each at Noor Khan Air Base, Mushaf, that is Sargoda, Bolari, Rahim Yar Khan, and all these. And then what are the tendered facility restoration? They've tendered for restoring those facilities. All that he said $380 million. Tabulated item by item. Then radar systems. He's given the list what all radar systems have been destroyed, and this includes Chinese and US, everything. All this at each airbase, he's said what all it is, and that is a figure. Okay. And then he's talking of missile and air defense sites which are neutralized. He's given Lahore and Sialkot, the definite 100%. Plus Malir, like I said, this is still a conservative thing. So the net total of these losses, direct losses, he has said it is $3.57 billion. Itna to chip gaya Pakistan ka. Okay. Then he speaks of replacement costs. What happens if all these items have to be replaced? Now he's spoken of F-16, Saab, 130, all those items which are these itemized things which are there, basically in this first and the second thing. He says if these are to be replaced, it will cost Pakistan $1.55 billion. Okay. But my view is this is a huge underestimation. I'll tell you why. See, just look at it from this story of F-16s. He says unit cost is $87 million per F-16. Let's see F-16 is correct. Here also is taking the same figure of $87 million. So what he's saying, I mean, the way why I don't agree here, this is where I don't agree with him. This is a huge underestimation because the figure of cost as $87 million is the same as the replacement cost. It can't be. The replacement cost will be at least 2 times more because these are old aircraft, okay, which costed Pakistan at that point of time this much. But today, if they were to replace, they have to pay more. And today's systems will be different from yesterday's systems. So the costs will go up on all these. My view is this alone, the replacement cost alone is undervalued by a factor of 2. You can easily multiply it. That's how it is. In certain cases, the factors could, in arms deal, the factors could be as high as 10. 12 years I was into procurement at various ranks, as a brigadier, as a not as a colonel, as a brigadier, as a major general, and as a lieutenant general. Just to give you an idea, a simple 105 mm field gun. Okay. In a matter of about 8 years, the cost went up by 10 times. Produced by Government of India in our factories. I used to ask them, "Yeah, ye kya hai? You have made a figure of 10 times more cost." He says, "Sir, ऐसे ही होता है इसमें, because you don't know which cost goes up when. And this is within the government. If it is outside, the cost would be multiplied even more. So Pakistan has to pay now. No one's going to give them free of cost." Then he is given a nice explanation. He says, with the estimated loss of assets worth $3.57 billion, and replacement costs of only 1.55, which I don't agree, right? The financial impact of Pakistan is likely to be 5.12 billion. That's his thing. I think it is double that, double of 3.57. So that itself is actually 7.5, right? So he goes on to say this is what Field Marshal Asif Munir has achieved for the terrorist state of Pakistan. Thank you. Let him do what he wants. And then if we were to include the cost of 40 J35s, which is $85 million per piece being offered at 50% discount, the actual cost would be 2.5 US billion. So now he's talking of the induction cost of J31 or J35, whatever that stupid aircraft is. Then it goes to 7.62. But my view is a little before that itself. You forget about the J35. Without the J35s itself, Pakistan is chapered for $7 billion plus. And this is only from an Air Force point of view. This is where we have to understand. This is only what a wing commander with his vision, which has been good, let me say, is very good. But with his experience and very detailed experience on one track has got this. What is not accounted? What is the ammunition expenditure and replacement cost of that ammunition? Missiles. What is the cost of other drones which went down like Iha, Piha and all, which has not been factored in this? Not factored in this. What are the cost or loss of SH-155 guns, 155mm guns? 200 guns Pakistan took from China. And in this war, they couldn't use them. They had to go back to old guns. So those 200 guns are no good for man or beast. And Pakistan doesn't have those guns. At a conservative estimate, I'm telling you a very conservative estimate, these guns in Indian terms, you convert it into billions, which I didn't have the bandwidth to do, would be about 30 crores each, if not 40. It's a MGS. Attacks is about 20 crores. Okay, it's not a MGS. You add a 10 crore truck to it, and you see how Chinese 30 crores, 30 to 40 crores, 200 guns, 200 into 30, let's say 30, 6,000 crores. How much is 6,000 crores? Another 6-7 billion. Add that. Where does it go? What about the ammunition? Each round of ammunition of 155, if you make it, it's about 1 lakh plus. If you buy it, it is 3 lakhs. Pakistan has been making, so even then. So I don't know how much ammunition they have fired. That much they've lost. What about the loss of infrastructure on the LOC? We've plastered their bunkers. You've just blasted them apart. So all those bunkers have to be made. And that means you're taking cement from some factory in Pakistan and going all the way there, bricks, all that. What's the time? What's the loss? The loss is not only in terms of cash, it's also on your defense capability. Your capability loss is something which has not been factored in this. You could take any guy with basic ideas of OR, operational research, he'll give you a bigger loss. So the replacement cost plus system plus escalation. One is replacement of the unit. What about the system? What about the communication systems? What about the navigation systems? What about the satellite systems or the ground elements of that satellite system? Gone. And then of course there's a loss of morale. If this is the widespread loss of equipment in the Pakistan army, what will be the loss of morale of the Pakistan armed forces? Even worse, what will be the loss of morale in China? China is busy trying to sell their J-10C and saying, that's the best aircraft, it has beaten Rafale and all. I have not been able to understand if J-10C has beaten Rafale, how has Rafale shares gone up and Avic, Chengdu shares have gone down? At the grassroots level, people on the market know what's happened, what's the truth. What about the P-15 missile system, which has not been accounted for? So the losses to Pakistan are huge. Now, the IMF has reacted on this post. IMF saw this post and they have come down. See what the IMF has said.
Here. The first is that IMF financing is provided to members for the purpose of resolving balance of payments problems. In the case of Pakistan, and this is my second point, the EFF disbursements, all of the disbursements received under the EFF are allocated to the reserves of the central bank. So those disbursements are at the central bank, and under the program, those resources are not part of budget financing. They are not transferred to the government to support the budget. The program, and the third point is that the program provides additional safeguards through our conditionality. And these include, for example, targets on the accumulation of international reserves. It includes a zero target, meaning no lending from the central bank to the government. And the program also includes substantial structural conditionality around improving fiscal management. And these conditions are all kind of available if, in the program documents. So if you wanted to do a deeper dive. And of course, any deviation from the established program conditions would, of course, impact future reviews under the Pakistan program.
So IMF has reacted. They very clearly said the money which we are going to give will be with the central bank, that is State Bank of Pakistan or whichever that this thing is. That can't be transferred to the government. The government can't use it for their budgeting and buying, weapons. That's out. So the due processes of IMF are going to be very strict hereafter on Pakistan. And that money is available only for the program. What the program has approved, only that can be spent and disbursed. So उधर भी टाइट हो गया पाकिस्तान का हालत. ये फील्ड मार्शल का तो देखते हैं क्या होगा आगे, right? And now there's a larger issue. This is the thing I got out from the RAND study on Chinese equipment. See, we are discussing these yellow things: PL-15, HQ-9 radar systems. Their air defense systems, HH-15 guns, drones, fighters, and all that. That Pakistan has invested a lot in their navy, in the Chinese navy. Their tanks, whose quality is poor, their ammunition, whose quality is poor. Their aircraft, which is quality is poor, which is not flown also. So Pakistan will think, what do I do with this junk? They're looking at 8 submarines and I think 8 frigates, Hangor class frigates, or whatever that is. They've done one odd exercise, and I don't think more than 25% of them are serviceable at any given time. So that's Chinese equipment for you. So today, Pakistan is not only left with a huge hole in its pocket, but also its ability to defend Pakistan. Of course, they will keep talking because no Pakistani will say I've lost. That's part of their story. Okay, but that's it. And coming to Chinese equipment, look at this. Nepal was given 2 passenger aircraft which don't fly. Sri Lanka was given a radar and multiple aircraft, including PT-6. Again, they don't do, nothing happens to it. Bangladesh was given frigates, submarines, and all that, which are not functional. Okay, they have been given MBT 2000 tanks. There are multiple issues with those tanks, Chinese, right? And their ammunition bursts. They've exploded in the breach. If a round bursts in the breach, the tank is a write-off. And they had previous generation Ming class submarines which were sold at about 10 times the price to Bangladeshis. And this Yunus fellow and gang want to still go and lick the Chinese bums. That's the thing. Myanmar had problems. Nigeria had problems. 80% of their F-7 ground Nigeria. F-7 fighters are grounded. The armor of the armored vehicles given to Kenya didn't have armor. I can't imagine. Okay. So, right? All this I thought I must put across to you people so that you understand what, has happened. The results are slowly coming out. The results of any war are not in the actual military to military fighting. It is beyond that. I've always said it goes into the political realm. Now people are asking questions. Internationally, people are asking questions. People are asking embarrassing questions to China. There is no reply. So all these issues will hound Pakistan. And plus, the focus is shifted to Balochistan. I'll talk of it day after tomorrow. I think certain it'll gain its critical mass again. We'll talk of Balochistan day after tomorrow in my morning talk. Till then, we'll go ahead with others. Right, this is what I had to say today. Right, thanks a lot for listening in, and thanks a lot for tuning in. If you like Gunner Shot, please do subscribe, and please do join me as a member, and also tell your other friends to join in. I'll be more than happy to give you facts and figures. I have nothing but facts and figures. I don't have a story to spin. I am not one of those people who jokes around and all that. Humor from me will be subtle, like my cartoons. I hope you like my cartoons. If you like my cartoons, just give a thumbs up to my, show. Okay, with this, I'll take some question. Thanks a lot. So I see Sid Kataki. Yeah, Kataki is saying very enlightening presentation. Thank you, General Shankar. Yeah, this is my job. This is my duty. You don't have to thank me for it. I'm doing it for my country. Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah, this is the thing which I want. Actually, armor could have some other meaning in Chinese. Chinese में क्या होता है हमें क्या पता है यार. हम तो फौजी हैं, फौजी तरीके से करते हैं काम. Okay. Member for 3 months, Akshar. Thanks a lot, sir. We proved our motto to China that Satyameva Jayate. I agree with you. We're very happy with that. Vikas Agarwal, thanks for joining me as a YouTube member. Debashish Chatterjee, thanks a lot for your contribution. You're a source of strength to me. Then Saurabh, looking at the range of weapons and equipment we destroyed in Op Sindoor, what impact it will create on the mind of the supplier handler of this session? Loss of morale. There's nothing worse than loss of morale for a soldier. I mean, let me put it this way. You have a car. You know that car doesn't have a good braking system. Would you drive it? Would you put your wife and your children at risk by driving that car? Or for that matter, the vehicle doesn't have a good engine. Would you like to go with this car of yours up to Sikkim and drive it up in the hills? Or the tires are not very good. You might have a puncture en route. It's hot summer. Would you like to take that? You won't, isn't it? Under any of these conditions, you won't like to put your wife's or your family's health at risk, or their lives at risk. You won't like to go in a car which will have a puncture in a hot summer day on a highway. तो आप जैक लेके पसीना पसीना आता होगा ये. You think you're going in an AC car, but you will end up bloody doing a tire puncture on the edge of the road. So these are the things when you use Chinese mal. These are the problems. Okay, right. So, and that's the mentality which will happen. Thanks a lot, Alok, for your contribution. What about invaluable loss of trained pilots? Oh, that is so I have not spoken only. Cost of training, cost of loss of life. I think it's a huge thing for Pakistan and for China, I don't think for a long time now this will get discussed. And I would request all of you to, propagate this video. This is not misinformation, or this is not disinformation. This is hard, solid information. Send it to everyone. Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. We look up to you for the last word on non-military matters. Which, yeah, thanks a lot. And more will come up. Don't worry. We'll keep exposing it. So I've been adding comments in Taiwan Plus channel to invite you or General Rajiv to present the current it to Taiwanese. Is it possible you could connect with them, please? Look, there's one guy called Adil Barar. I have sent a message to him that I'm prepared to come and talk. But unfortunately, they have not responded. So I would request, Tintin, if you could request Adil Barar. He's in Taiwan Plus channel. I don't mind going and talking to them because it's good. Yeah. For the country and most importantly, Dharma as the destiny of Bharat is intertwined with our, Dharma Bhumi, Jaima from Bangladesh. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Coming from Bangladesh, I'm very happy you did this. Our country, first and foremost, non-partisan, correct? Good afternoon. How are you, Ashok? Namaskaram to you. Ye video purana hai. No, this is not. This is live, Amitesh. No, there's nothing. Yeah. We have created Akash Tir. Can we expect our own YouTube? Please do a program on this with some technical expert, Jai Hind. I'm purposely not doing it. I know what Akash Tir is. I'm purposely not doing it. Look, many of you think I talk too much. Some of you have said so. But believe you me, I don't talk what is not required to be spoken. What do you make of the diverging lessons we learned from Op Sindhu's aftermath? Western and Chinese media waged a false narrative of Pak's air victory and that we no longer need any validation. You have to be steady. You have to see through this fog which is coming at you. You have to be confident of yourself. Let this pass. Let this misinformation pass and come out with your own information, which is stronger. And ultimately, when this whole story is discussed and dissected, it will be based on hard facts, referenced facts. Like Satyam Kushwaha has come out with a thing with referenced facts. I'm sure Pakistan also will come out with something like this. Unfortunately, they have not even put out not even one video or a satellite image and all that. And this is not being told by our people. It is being told by their people in their parliament, in their social media, wherever. Right? Okay. I used to think that no matter how substandard items they produce, I thought they would ensure high standards for their military. Yeah, that's the problem, Akshar. I agree with you. A question regarding the source code for Rafale. General Narayanan stated on Def Talks that we got the code. My question is, can they restrict us from using this only for a few IAF Rafales? I'll not like to comment on this at all. If you see, I've not spoken about it at all. That's a matter which I'm sure the government will handle it at the right level. Leave it at that. Let me put it this way. I'll give you now a hint of what I'm talking or not talking. The M777, I got the source codes for India. Leave it at that. Pak ordered 6 million medals for their military persons. Yeah. There are methods of getting these source codes. I don't know whether in the case of Rafale we've got it or not. I won't like to comment. How many F-16 destroyed? 8 as per Satyam Kushwaha's thing. Good question, sir. How was your behavior with JCOs, NCOs, and why is there so much disparity in their lifestyle, income disparity when compared with the JCO with CO? Oh no, don't think that our JCOs and NCOs are badly off. They're very well off. The facilities which they get are fantastic. I keep even now interacting with JCOs, NCOs. It's not much different. CEO is a big man. Yeah, CEO is one in a unit. He's the top. How can a CEO of a unit of a system be equated to the JCO NCO of a system? Come on, don't be so socialistic or communist by nature, by thinking. That's bad. In our system, the officers perform work about 2 to 3 times that of a JCO or an NCO. And as a JCO, as an officer, young officer, I have lived with JCOs, worked with JCOs, not even JCOs, NCOs. I worked with, when I got commissioned into the artillery, we had mules. So I worked with a mule driver. I used to manage a horse on my own. That means early morning I had to clean that horse and really clean it shit. I've done that. It's only by doing all those things which are at the bottom that you become a good officer. So that tomorrow you have to take a decision, you know how to clean all that. And at the other end, when I retired, Bofors was also old system. You're looking at missiles and all that. The knowledge which you have to gain as being an officer is out of proportion compared to what a JCO NCO is expected to do. So naturally, that fellow with this knowledge, higher level of knowledge and leadership has to be paid more. And the CEO is responsible for the entire unit. So don't think, I think you have a wrong impression of what army life is. Trust the system. First thing is trust your army, trust your system. It cannot be denied that Pak is USA deep state pet and China is their minion. Pak would get its financial support, which will be siphoned off to UK, USA again. Is this the one doesn't know? Seems to be what that is. But the fact is, today, the thought process which you put across, Akash, would have been valid for some time back, not probably now. I don't know whether the world has money to feed Pakistan so much again. I don't know whether China has the money. China's economy is short. They can't afford this. They for themselves, but whether they'll be able to afford it for Pakistan is a question mark. And USA doesn't have the appetite to fund Pakistan the way it funded Pakistan, say, 10 years back. The whole geopolitical situation has changed. You have to see it in this frame. Okay. I am new to Gunner Shot. Your analysis is very good, but does this platform answer people who ask unpaid questions? Yeah, you're Nikhil, you're not paid, no? I'm answering. I have time to answer everyone. Okay? Don't worry about paid or unpaid. If you pay, well, you don't pay, I'll still try and answer. Only thing is, when I'm in a panel, I might not be able to do that. Right? Because when in a panel, a lot of questions come, then I have to do paid questions. By the time I get to unpaid questions, I don't have the time, and the panel members might have to leave, so I can't. But on my own, when I do things like this, I take all questions. It doesn't matter you pay me or not. Yeah. America, Israel are not true friends of India. We should look to these people to run their narratives. Yeah, it's okay. We shouldn't bother about it. We should know how to stand on our own feet. Don't worry. Why Indian government is not giving a clear picture of the damage induced by our team? It will take time. There are a lot of confirmations which have to take place. So be patient. They're slowly giving out information. Let them give. Personnel who trained in air defense and nuclear command and control is irreplaceable for next 5 years. One has to recruit, train, disseminate, and deploy. Huge loss. Any comments? I agree with you. A trained operator, loss of a trained operator is difficult. But I don't think in this case Pakistan will suffer for it, because the number of people they've lost is not money. They'll be able to replace. But their fundamental problem is not that they've lost people who are trained. The fundamental problem is they were not trained well. That's the thing. Defense stocks correctly mentioned that the loss is 15 billion. Yeah, then you please go to defense stocks. I'm not sure whether it's $15 billion. And has defense stocks given you the breakdown like this chap Satyam Kushwaha has given you? What is the basis? Tukka marna nahi hai. Remember, just remember one thing. When any one of you quote defense stocks to me, remember, I promoted Adi Achint. Okay? I know how good or bad he is. I love such anecdotes added such a dimension that cannot be, you can't find it. I can only tell you from my experience, right? Yeah. Field Marshal can proudly say that his forces fought with valor in spite of having poor quality Chinese and Turkish equipment. He's a stupid guy here. He's taken his country to war just to become a field marshal. Simple. It's his personal ambition which has taken Pakistan to war and brought Pakistan to this status. There's a saying in military that never trust military pilots and doctors. We should really pay our homages to ground staff and AD teams. No, I don't agree with this. Our doctors and pilots are good. I don't agree with this. I have full trust in them. Your voice is degrading, not able to hear properly. Is it so? I've not got this thing. Yeah. What's fishy happening in Bangladesh? Request to kindly update the viewers. I'll do that in a matter of few days. Day before yesterday only, we spoke on Bangladesh. Wednesday we spoke on Bangladesh, isn't it? We'll speak maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday again. I'll speak on Bangladesh. Thank you, General. It's such a beautiful and patriotic engagement with a larger audience. We need to take advantage of the technology so that there's no room for future propaganda. I salute you. Thanks a lot. I salute you also. Yeah. Mandingo, is it live or recorded? It is live. I don't do many recorded things. What I put out as recorded are generally old ones. I don't like recorded stuff. I like to do live. Okay. Yeah, Vishal, your talks are extremely detailed with insights. Just love your analysis. Thanks a lot. Honored. Yeah, this is important. And procurement and reintegration takes years. I agree with you. At this, I think Pakistan Army, in a very conservative way, it has gone back by about 2 to 3 years. Very conservatively, 2 to 3 years. Yeah, these mustaches don't make you feel old. These are guys, young guys who would give an arm, leg, stem. Okay, thanks a lot. Alok Trivedi, thank you. Right. The biggest loss to Pakistan army is now that they have to start building their army instead of DHF. That's a good one, actually. That's a good one. Excellent milestone, General. Thanks a lot. And yeah, netizen, he's put a lot of questions. The Indian military was playing with Pakistan clown-like army, like it was a kid. India was just giving Pakistan a warning of what it can do with its mildly destructive warning strikes. Completely agree with you. What about individual loss of trained IF pilots? I agree with you. That's a huge loss. Okay. There's a totaling mistake in calculation. Oh, it doesn't matter, Prashant, whether one or two here, that doesn't matter. Take the larger figure. Larger thing is as a big hole has appeared in the Pakistan defense firmament. So we have to seriously build up on narrative building and recruit our IT workforce to boost our capability. We need to meddle in internal affairs of our adversaries. Your view, yeah, narratives building we must. There's no doubt about it. I also said that's why 2 3 days back I got a panel to discuss this thing. We have to up our information warfare. You can't keep saying every time I'll be right and every time I'll be truthful. Okay, and while I don't believe in meddling with our adversaries, I think we need to control them. We are a big country, and these neighbors of ours are chutput chaps, small guys. We need to control them and make sure that they are within their daira and not get out of it. Today we talk too much of democracy with them. I think at times we need to be a bit, autocratic and danda chalao. This is good. It seems China supplied Pakistan military equipment made in their toy factories. Possible. Mm. What was the emergency to section of loan help during the war is going on against terrorism? Is this just the IMF help terrorism only? Look, there is an international story which is developing that Pakistan can't be allowed to go down. And that is why IMF has been kind to Pakistan. I think we need to resolve this at a higher level. But let's see how it goes, and then we'll talk of it. Chinese aircraft are kind of free from them, so maybe that's why he has not counted. No, he's not has not counted because he didn't have inputs. I spoke to him, so this figure will get bloated. How would the latest conditions imposed by IMF affect the costs for the Paki common man? Oh, very badly. They're going to be had. That's why I said the war is over. अभी तो ये जो पहले रात हो गया है. The story will come now. The asli thing will come now. Next 4-5 months, you see Pakistan tottering. Already things have started. Yeah, this is a very good thing. Pakistanis are probably invested in the Chinese equipment even more than the Chinese themselves. Probable. Okay. So, any truth that IIT Madras is making ramjet shells 155? Yeah, definitely we are making it. Yeah, we are. Yeah. Sanchit says, wonderful session. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, GSR Creations. Yeah. How has Op Sindoor affected plans for theaterization? Well, that's a good question. We'll have to now take some hard calls, some thinking. I'll not like to comment so far. Asked. It'll take some time, and as we discuss, we'll come to know actuals, and then we'll talk. Yeah, we were fighting two countries. China was testing the. Yeah, I agree with you. I already said earlier that we're already into a two-front situation. Thanks a lot, Siddharth, for watching. Then, do you feel Pakistan will go into any future conventional conflict vis-a-vis India with profound handicap, especially since they have disarmed of their new? No, they're not disarmed of their nuclear capability. Don't be under that mistaken impression. There will be people who will come to help them. They will create problems. We'll have more of gray zone with them. We'll have more of terror from them. We have to start dealing with Pakistan differently. Don't think what happened in Op Sindoor will get repeated. We have to find new ways to defeat Pakistan. I used to believe that despite their substandard items, China would maintain high standards in their military. I'm happy to be proven wrong. Thank you. I think we've taken this question, but doesn't matter. Sir, doesn't Taiwan also claim Arunachal Pradesh? Yes, it does. You see, it's in their constitution to think that Arunachal Pradesh is part of Tibet and Tibet is part of China. This was there when the ROC and the nationalist government was ruling China, right? Uh, the Chiang Kai-shek's government. So when he came and formed the government in Taiwan, he put this in their constitution. So it's there. We'll have the same problems with them also. Thanks a lot, Malika Praveen, for your super sticker. So honored. Okay. Andy, will Pakistan keep buying refurbished tanks, equipment from post-USSR countries like Czech Republic? They don't have no choice. They don't have money. How much can China fund Pakistan? There's a limit. And Chinese don't give anything free. Okay. They will take their pound of flesh from Pakistan. That's the whole story. So your analysis of losses in Pakistan is great for Pakistan. Most importantly, the $7 billion is probably of China and USA. So the two are rattle beyond imagination. Yes, they're going to ultimately who's going to pay for all this? It is them, because these chaps can't pay anyone. Pakistan has not repaid anyone. Okay, let me go. Yeah, new one. Good evening, General Sir. Is it not possible to intercept incoming artillery shells like we did for drones? Wouldn't this have spared the civilians who came under attack? No, you can't. The number of artillery shells which will keep coming at you are huge. You can't. It's out of question. Physically impossible. No one does it also. No one even takes the trouble of doing it. If India sells missiles to other countries, don't you think China will collaborate with buyers to reverse engineering of these missiles? You have to sell country. I mean, most of these equipment, of sensitive equipment, is also sold not on money, it is sold on political considerations. For example, we sell to Armenia because Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Pakistan are good friends. We sell equipment to Philippines because Philippines and China are not good friends. So these calculations do come in, don't worry. Yeah, I agree, sir. Comparing a CEO with a JCO is just wrong. Universe of difference in their roles and responsibilities, abilities, and accountability. Yeah. As a CEO, I must tell you this. I was not responsible for just the functioning of the unit. I was responsible for each soldier, his wife, his children, his parents. And the biggest happiness I got was when I finished my command, I didn't lose a single boy throughout my tenure. And I was in operations. I appreciate your cartoons on Pakistan and China. They are hilarious. Thanks a lot. At least that will ensure that you come to Ghana Short as members, or rather as subscribers. Right. Now let me take some of these questions and finish. Pakistan India ki sans rokega. Dirty bomb wind threat. 9 months airflow from Pakistan to India and 2 to 3 months India. No, nothing will happen. Don't worry. And most times the airflow will be that side only, so they will get more affected. And most of this gets washed away by water, and the water goes downflows back into Pakistan. For Pakistan, it's not easy for Pakistan to, fire a bomb at us, nuclear bomb. It's not easy. They'll get affected more. Hari Rao, thanks a lot. And then Murli Krishna says, voice is good, no degradation. Thanks a lot. we have counted the cost of loss plus replacement. Is this not double counting? It's not, because that's what's going to happen. You lost what you have, plus you have to buy. Okay, it's just not that replacement. Okay, Arunachal. What could be the game plan of USA and China, or USA or China on India? Even if one of them wins, what will be the shape of things vis-a-vis India? Look, at the end of the day, Arunachal, I see the drift of your question. It doesn't matter who wins. Both of them would like to suppress India because we are a long-term threat to them. So we have to at every time act in a manner that it suits our national interests. You don't know who will give up on you when. See, like what Trump did now. Okay. And China talks one thing and does one thing. So we have to do what we have to do on our own. Even Russia at times has let us down or been silent. Sir, many Pakistani open restaurants around the world as Indian restaurants. Please do something using your contacts to ensure innocent Indians traveling abroad are not fooled. Let me see. I'll take it up. I'll take it up with the concerned authorities on this issue. And maybe I will. This will have to go through our external affairs and all that. But I'll do that. I'll do that. I think there are 40,000 restaurants of Pakistanis alone in UK with the name Indian. Yeah, maybe next time, I talk of information, disinformation, I'll talk of this. Veena Gopi, thanks a lot for becoming a member. Then Tanish Life, where's your question? I'll take it. I have no problem. Just retype your question, Tanish. Janikiram Neliseri, thanks a lot for becoming a member. We are fighting two ideologically motivated armies. We are a national constitutional army. What advantage we have? Also make a video of structure of PLA. Yeah, we'll do that. There's no problem. I have done a lot of. If you go to Gunner Shot and search for PLA, you will get half a dozen on PLA. I've done a lot of research on PLA and published it also. Which fifth gen jet would have better integration with our air systems, Russian or American? We'll leave it to the Air Force to decide on that. And it is not that a such system comes and it will be or not be compatible with our systems. We have to make sure that what we get is compatible to our systems. That's the thing. Like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, where's the Tanish Life? He wanted me to answer his question. Last question I'll take because he wanted me to answer. Okay, yeah. I've answered this now. I'll do something about it, Tanish. Don't worry. I told you about this restaurants business. Okay, thanks a lot. What is world has around another? What if world has another round of COVID? Well, that's another merry-go-round. Like we'll play it when it comes, right? Yeah. So we have heard the story of a child calling out the emperor who doesn't have clothes. In case of Pakistan, the child could be punished for blasphemy. Yeah, that's Pakistan for you. Yeah, Venki, long time. What's happening on FATF? Awaiting an article from you. I don't think FATF will be able to push them back in, especially with the Trump's behavior the way it is coming up. That's my view. So I thought of it, but I gave up on an article on FATF because I don't think we have the bandwidth at this point of time to do so. I think we need to look into something else. We have to start looking a little more outward in our thinking, a little more, bigger vision, And we need to make our own internal economy strong and look at internal problems, because I think this has given us a window of another 2 to 3 years if things stabilize with Pakistan. 2 to 3 years to do bigger things than push this fellow into FATF. That's not a big thing. Yeah. Any update on Agnivir and Gorkhas? Not so far, honestly. I do hope the government goes back on its decision, but I don't think so. Right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to all of you for joining in today in the afternoon. And your response has been great. In the evening, we're going to talk with General Vinod Bhatia. Attend it, because he's been our DGMO and he's been through many operations and he's absolutely crystal clear on what the thing is. What is Karthik's done? I don't know. Let me see. Right. So we're going to take a review of Pakistan's defeat. And why I'm making this is, a few days back, the chiefs, of army staff called a few important veterans or renowned veterans and gave them a brief of what happened during, Op Sindoor. And this was just 2 days after Op Sindoor. He was one of them who went because of the stature he has. Of course, those are people only from Delhi. So he went. So he's going to speak to us based on that knowledge. So that's why I invited him. So till tomorrow, we'll, I'm not tomorrow, today evening, we'll listen to General Vinod Bhatia. Join in. Get your friends also to join in today, because I'm sure he'll speak a lot of good sense. Thank you. Good afternoon and Jai Hind to all of you.